Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So with regards to the Ripple XRP SEC lawsuit, a lot has changed over the last year and a half. We've been following developments and, noticing the missteps of the SEC along the way. This is definitely going to have an impact on the cryptocurrency market as a whole. Ripple is going to be the example that, sets the standard essentially for cryptocurrency regulatory clarity in the United States. I have no doubt about that. But you guys realize how big Ripple's legal bill is? Bill at Belisarius 2020 here, posting this, and more consequences of the SEC and Gary Gensler acting in bad faith, costing Ripple $100 million in legal costs. The SEC is a blight on U.S. innovation. Australia's security regulator should end any bilateral arrangements it has with the SEC and keep its distance. And he tags Senator Lummis in here, retweeting out XRP Wing Commander's tweet here with a clip of Brad Garlinghouse at Consensus 2020. And listen to what Brad says here in this clip.
Well, we've spent, one of the things when this is all said and done, we will have spent over $100 million on legal fees fighting the SEC.
You could even hear the gasps in the audience. $100 million in legal fees fighting the SEC. Okay, so where do we stand? Is there a potential new settlement on the table? And what is Ripple's reaction to this? So Mickle XRP posted this, tagging all the XRP community lawyers in the tweet. Based on your current understanding of the new Senator Lummis bill, do you believe it is clear that XRP would not be deemed a security? So some people here have chimed in, like Mickey B. Fresh, saying, did you read the bill before tweeting out the question? The bill acknowledges actual cryptographic tokens are completely different than investment contracts. The bill defines new types of assets called ancillary assets, derived from investment contract sales. New disclosures, new assets. And so Bill at Belisarius, which I don't want to confuse you guys with the crypto bill. No, this is Bill at Belisarius, not completely different, he says. The proposed definition of ancillary assets has the effect that the managerial efforts of others and potential of profit by resale are not determinative of whether something is a security. This definition seems to narrow the impact of the Howey test. So with this bill, with this introduction of the new bill, they've actually seeked to, or at least this is how it looks, seeked to minimize the SEC's impact on certain cryptocurrencies. To be a security, the digital asset must provide the holder with debt or equity interest in a business entity, liquidation rights or entitlement to interest payments from a business entity, or a profit or revenue share in a business entity solely from the entrepreneurial or the managerial efforts of others. So Bill here, Bill at Belisarius 2020, he's trying to define this. He's trying to clarify this, I guess, for some people that might be a little confused. Anders L. also just brings this up here. All I know is that Gary Gensler looked really annoyed when asked about the bill, so it must be a good thing. And so if they are trying to, and I get this point, it makes complete sense. If they are seeking to limit the SEC's power by giving this new definition, ancillary assets, and narrow the impact of the Howey test, this would definitely probably grind Gary Gensler's gears a little bit, wouldn't it? I just can't stand to hear his voice, says GA Voter here. Agent Smith asks, translation. The managerial efforts of Ripple matters less, hurts Ripple less in the Howey analysis. And Anders L. here says, to me, it seems ancillary assets is a way to remove the assets where it's basically just one business using a specific coin, which is most cryptocurrencies, from being securities, which should piss off Gary. So it makes sense, right? If you have other businesses using the cryptocurrency, then it's going to be very hard for the SEC to prove that that is an investment contract. Ripple is not the only company using XRP, for example. Agent Smith down here says, that's what it seems like, but I don't know if I'm missing anything, especially given the senator's comment. I just want it to be airtight, and I don't want to give that guy any wiggle room. Imagine Ripple wins the suit, but the law passed and Gensler sues Ripple yet again. I agree with you. I hope it is airtight. Okay. So there's that issue as well, which we are going to get to in a second. First, though, I just want to show you guys this again. I know I've showed this on my channel in the past, but I feel like to set up the next clip, we have to understand the SEC's position in this matter. The SEC argues that XRP has no real utility, yet here is the now head of the SEC back in September of 2018, post-Hinman speech, I might add, explaining what that utility is. This brought to us by Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unbox here. Gary Gensler sitting on a panel explaining exactly what crypto utility is. Listen to this.
But to go between Tanzania and Nigeria, you need somebody to bear some counterparty risk that the ledgers both move and are adjusted at the same time. And usually it's a bank that is in both countries. You could use blockchain, but the current thinking is you need a bridge currency in between, and that bridge could be a stable value that's backed by the U.S. dollar or the euro. It could be a currency even like Ripple has an alternative. It's just piloted in May, so it's not yet up in any enterprise-wide level.
You can use a stable currency, stable in value, or you can use, and here's another example, Ripple has a currency, and it is being piloted right now. So Gary Gensler here, right on the record, stating that Ripple has a currency, and that currency has utility because it will facilitate these cross-border transactions. So, any kind of argument that the SEC is making today about, the fact that XRP does not have utility clearly is not holding any weight. Wheezy also just tweeting this out down here. Ripple reveals results of first pilot tests using XRP cryptocurrency. Down here, Matt Hamilton Matt Hamilton here saying Ripple or XRP, they are two different things. There are plenty of people using the XRP ledger and plenty of companies building on it. At that time, 2018, there was still some uncertainty surrounding the Ripple token or the XRP token, and they had to clarify that. And they managed to clarify that. I don't know if you guys were here when they had that rebranding effort, and they were, asking the XRP community even for new logo concepts for the XRP cryptocurrency, or somebody was. I don't know if it was an official contest or whatever, but people submitted their logos, the new XRP. They wanted to rebrand. They wanted to distance themselves so that we'd have Ripple, the company, and XRP, the cryptocurrency, and that happened years ago. So anyway, just on that point, we have Ripple, a company that offers software, but XRP is that utility token, and it's not just one company using that utility token, so it would definitely fall under this category here of many different companies using it, and so that would definitely steer the argument away from Ripple just saying that this is our token, and by buying XRP, you have now signed a security contract with us. That's obviously the SEC's argument. So then this just came out yesterday, guys, and you may have seen it, you may have not. The most mind-blowing Ripple news ever. This is the BitBoy Crypto channel. Listen to this.
But guys, this is what I want to talk about today. And I will be really, really, really honest with you. I've really gone back and forth on whether I really want to make this video or not. Because, as you guys know, last year, I said the Ripple case, I was told by some inside sources, the case should be over in September. And I'm not going to pretend to know whether what I'm going to tell you today matches that timeline or not. But there is a chance that it does match that timeline. I discovered something over this weekend that is going to absolutely blow your mind. It is going to leave you shell-shocked. My jaw hit the floor when this person told me this. And this is what I will say. This is not direct information from the Ripple team, but this is secondhand information. And the person that told me this, I really, really trust. There's no motivation for this person to be lying about this. And here it is. Are y'all ready for this? We just had a tweet go out. I just retweeted John Deaton talking about why would Ripple settle? And I've been pushing for a settlement for over a year now. For over a year, we've been telling you a settlement is coming. There's just too much risk. There is too much involved here. John Deaton tends to agree here. He says in this tweet that basically a settlement is an easy slam dunk for Ripple. Listen to this. I have been told that Ripple, I don't know when, I don't have a timeline. I would like to believe this was probably towards the end of last year. There's a lot of evidence for that. I'm not going to say September. Ripple turned down a settlement from the SEC. They turned it down. They said no. They are so confident. The Ripple team is so confident that they are going to outright win this trial that they turn down an official settlement offer from the SEC. And when you start to realize that, when you start to think about it, suddenly things start making so much sense. There was already, if you think about the bull run last year and you think about where the price was, and you think about this probably happening towards the end of last year, the fact is, how much positive momentum would that have been for Ripple if the market is going down? It actually, at this point, if it was going to be, let's say it was December of last year or November of last year, near the top, it certainly would have ran a little bit, but it would have been stifled by the end of this bull run. If you start thinking of it in terms of, oh my gosh, now this is going to be extended into next year after we should bottom for Bitcoin, now you start to realize that this is really probably going to be perfect timing when this case ends. And when is it going to end? Well, maybe January, maybe March of next year, it looks like. But this is no longer going to a settlement, guys. Unless something dramatic happens in the next couple of months, something Ripple couldn't have seen coming, they have their P's and Q's locked so hard. The SEC has looked so terrible. And with every single passing month, the SEC starts getting more and more exposed for the scam, the corruption that they are.
Okay, and I'm going to leave it there. So, do you believe it or not? I don't want to get into BitBoy Crypto's credibility in this video. However, he does have some valid arguments here. Just at the top of this video, I showed you guys this clip with Brad Garlinghouse saying that Ripple has spent over $100 million fighting the SEC. So they are clearly taking it seriously. And, if the SEC comes to them with a settlement offer that is just not peachy enough, I could see Ripple saying, no, we've got a strong enough case, an airtight case, that we are going to take this straight to trial. So what are the chances of this, guys? I'm going to get into this a little deeper. Fred Rispoli here responding, the BitBoy video is definitely plausible, he's saying, and I'm assuming the settlement offer he referred to was a newer one and not the one offered before the suit was filed. So yes, it would obviously have to be a sweeter deal for Ripple to accept. I would assume that also. But remember, a settlement, in quotes, means nothing without details. If the newer offer did not clarify XRP as a non-security, of course, Ripple would reject this. And this is not news, of course. On the other hand, why would Ripple reject a settlement offer that does provide clarity for XRP? I can't think of compelling reasons not to settle unless 1, the money demanded was too astronomical, or 2, legal team knows victory is 100% lock. Remember, it has millions of pages of documents and thousands of pages of deposition transcriptions we will never see. But wow, that is super ballsy to be that confident. Just the confidence level I know Attorney Jeremy Hogan believes is within Matt Solomon. And for those of you guys who do not know, Matthew Solomon is Ripple's lawyer, the head lawyer over there on the case. Andrew Zell here saying, I bet Ripple were offered a bad deal, like no clarity for XRP or something. So it could be either or. It could be that the settlement that was offered was just not good enough for them, or that it didn't provide the clarity. And back to BitBoy's point here about, the settlement being offered at a time when the market was going down. I got the XRP chart up here right now, and, these things are all planned and timed. If the settlement was offered at the height, okay, whether that was November 2021, that was the height of the Bitcoin bull market. XRP obviously did not reach its all-time high at that point. Or, whether it was December of 2021, near the height, though, of the market, we would not have wanted to get a verdict here. Because although we could have seen, XRP pump a little bit, ultimately it would eventually follow the rest of the market in a bullish trend. But guys, if we wait and we see the market consolidate and we get a verdict sometime around December, January, February, March, whenever, this is when analysts are predicting is the turnaround point for the crypto market. And so it would only make sense that Ripple would want to prolong this and maybe take this case to trial, or maybe even settle at that point in time, because the momentum of the market will have changed and the value of XRP will be going higher as opposed to be going lower. Not just XRP, of course, that would be the entire market as a whole, but for their purposes, obviously, they would want the best outcome for XRP, and for it not to be subject to this positive verdict in the midst of a bear market. So I understand this logic here. I also understand what Fred Rispoli here is saying. Kevin Smith also bringing in his 2 cents. Lots of recent happenings in the SEC versus Ripple case. BitBoy Crypto has just stated that he's been told by a reliable source that Ripple turned down a settlement from the SEC. Whilst I don't disbelieve this, I don't believe this means Ripple will not settle. So some people here actually saying, BitBoy Crypto might have some good information here. In fact, I'm almost certain of the opposite. I think it's coming sooner rather than later. By settling, Ripple puts a nail in this for good and avoids many years of appeals and further BS from Gary and friends. Here's where I believe we will see a settlement within 2 months, possibly sooner. So 2 months, that would also coincide with probably the bottom of the crypto market. Number 1, he says the SEC won't let the Hinman emails see the light of day. Common knowledge thanks to the trusted opinion of John Deaton. Number 2, I don't think people realize how badly the SEC dropped the ball on the recent hearing. Not only that, it was the judge that backed them into the corner. They sent a sacrificial lamb to argue a very important part of the case. They know they have lost. They're holding on only for leverage, which they're losing more the further they push this. Number 3, there's the public image. Gary and chums have started putting out PSAs trying to improve their image. Gary also looked incredibly angry. His hands were shaking when told crypto companies at Consensus said there was no clarity. The pressure we are applying is hurting them. So that's the other thing with the SEC. The optics just does not look good for the SEC at this moment in time. Ripple really wants to get on with their IPO. That's the other thing. Recently, Link 2 activities has been huge. They're putting huge amounts of time into the marketing campaign, so there's that as well. The SEC have just set their targets on Binance, so that is a new focus for them and a few other smaller fish. I would have thought they would have waited until a positive conclusion of the Ripple case if they thought they were going to win. They really will not want to risk the Binance case by setting a bad case precedent in the Ripple case. Point 2 suggests to me that their targets have been refocused elsewhere. So it could be that also the SEC is doing exactly this. They're recalibrating because they realize, boy, we really messed this up with the Ripple case. We just were not prepared. And so, this is how we're going to pivot, and this is how we're going to save face in a lot of ways, even if Ripple does win the case. There's also this. Ripple will really want to beat Ethereum 2.0 to market. I don't think Ethereum 2.0 is going to be ready for a long time, to be honest, but better to be far ahead than to leave it too close for comfort. Number 7, call me crazy, but Jed's taco stand runs out approximately in 40 days. So there's also that piece to the puzzle. Does Ripple want to settle? Well, he still has 160 million coins to sell. Right now, that's worth $60 million. Realistic targets for post-settlement prices seem to be around $10 to $15 per coin. They really are going to give Jed his final 1.6 to 2.4 billion leaving present? Yeah, another good question there. Market bottom is also very close to being in, it seems. So just going back to the crypto market as a whole. This is all just opinion. I'm not going to cry if I'm wrong. That happens all the time. But anything other than a settlement most likely means the SEC will drag this out for 2 to 3 more years in appeals. And they arguably now have bigger fish they want to fry. Ultimately, it rests on the judge's next decision about the Hinman email surrounding the speech, in my opinion. If and most likely when that comes in Ripple's favor, the clock is then ticking to a settlement announcement. A major point I missed, though. If the case gets summary judgment, that means the emails have to come out. The SEC's only other way to avoid the emails coming out is to abandon the case entirely. Ripple do not want this because that would mean 1, the past 18 months were for nothing, 2, no clarity, no settlement, no nothing. This is why Ripple have an incentive to settle as well as the SEC. To those that think they will fight until the end, the SEC won't allow them to fight until the end. Consider it the SEC's ultimate rug pull if Ripple don't play ball. Interesting thoughts here from Kevin Smith on Twitter. Gotta thank him for posting that. So here we go, guys. There's also this thought, too, from Stéphane Hubert. What unsettles me is the new law. Even if Ripple wins the case and appeals, couldn't the SEC file the lawsuit again because of the new legislation? So would a double jeopardy clause play into this or not? Everyone is talking about the law making the lawsuit obsolete. I see more of a risk that a new law will actually give the SEC another shot at suing. And Analyst 404 down here saying, as far as I know, even if the Lummis bill got passed today, it wouldn't have any effect on the case as it doesn't work retroactively for cases in flight. So there's that. But if the case were dismissed and Ripple got tried again in the future, that would definitely not be the case. And if it did pass in the future, Ripple could file the twice yearly disclosures if their sales of XRP were securities per se. So a lot going on here, guys, a lot to constantly think about. Are we going to see a settlement? Is there something on the table? Did Ripple actually reject a settlement from the SEC because their case is so airtight? How would this affect XRP moving forward? It's still all up in the air, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.